Hey, Philip, welcome to the stream. Yeah, no worries. I know it was going to be early in Alaska. That was kind of a one-off because I didn't want to change the time of this Bard playthrough. I wanted to leave it at noon, which means I wanted to start the other one at 8, give myself a little break to put up chapter markers after that one was completed and kind of get ready for this one. Yeah, going through in the future, pay attention to the community tab this week when I put up the post for the streaming schedule for the remainder of NFL season here. We'll be starting a little bit later, so it won't be nearly as early for you. But the Starfield live stream is going to be Wednesday evenings, which will be Wednesday afternoon for you. And then the Bard and Paladin live streams will both be on Saturday here. So, hey Darren, hey Joshua, thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys showing up. Yeah, just finished the Starfield stream, and boy, doing back-to-back streams like that with an hour in between has just exposed how unprepared I was to be able to do it. So I really need to get some things figured out inside OBS, the streaming software, to make sure I've got everything set up right. There was a lot of scrambling around before this to get ready for this stream, so. But Starfield was fun. Oh, Philip, you don't have to. I mean, I appreciate it, but no, I know you're anxious to go see it. You should dive right into it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate you being here, but no, I certainly understand what launch day is like, and the wanting to jump right into it, especially with all the 3 years of anticipation that the early accesses have built up here. No, Darren, you don't have. I mean, you don't have to worry about being negative at all. Everyone's going to have their own opinions of that game. It's much different than here. So, as we go through that live stream, you'll see it's going to change quite a bit. And it was brought up during the live stream about the explanations and that sort of stuff. As we go through because the tutorials in that game are horrible. I mean, just horrifically bad. So there'll be a lot of explanations and kind of breaks in the action as we go. But once we get more into it, hopefully things will pick up as we start getting rid of some of the explanations and getting more into the quests and how they go and one after another and that sort of stuff. I know I'm going to start my personal playthrough of it this evening after we're done here. So that was my first time playing it along with you guys. I hadn't played it until then. So I'm sure as I get more used to it and I've played through more and gotten ahead of where I am in the live stream character, then yeah, we'll see it go a little more smoothly as well. Yeah, Philip, there's been a lot of, and if you're paying attention to the forums, you're going to see a load of the comments that people have put out there, and it's to be expected. I mean, Bethesda has... I'm going to be gentle, because for the most part, I enjoy Bethesda's previous games. I never played Fallout. I have no interest in playing Fallout, but I did play all of the Elder Scrolls games, and I really enjoyed them, and I still really enjoy them. But Bethesda has a track record of just not fixing exploits and bugs in their games. There are whole channels that are devoted just to breaking previous Skyrim, the previous Skyrim game and that sort of stuff. And the modders were the ones that ended up having to patch that stuff out. The unofficial Skyrim patch mod and that sort of stuff was just doing stuff that Bethesda should have done on their own. So I'm really anxious over the next 4 weeks, over the next month, to see what Bethesda starts kicking out in the way of updates, hotfixes, and patches. We have gotten really, really spoiled with Larian here in many ways, not just from game design, but also their community interaction and their patch schedule. It's insane. I've never seen this from a developer, let alone a non-AAA developer. And it's amazing to see. So I'm really anxious to see how Bethesda starts dealing with all of these things that people are that they are bringing up right now in the forums. It'll be really interesting to see. Yeah, you're right, Philip. It's the game improves so much with the modding community, and that's both good and bad, in that the modders add so much to the game, but it almost lets Bethesda off the hook. The best of all worlds would have been if they would have seen what happened with Skyrim and with Fallout 76, with the modding community and all the fixes and improvements that they did. And they took all of that to heart and went into Starfield saying, we're going to pick up some of the slack here that they've been picking up for us, and start implementing those same quality of life improvements and things like that into the game. And we've already seen with HOTAS support that they probably haven't learned that lesson a little bit, I think. And I think, unfortunately, they've kind of gone into this one possibly again saying, we're going to let the modders pick up for us. Pick up the slack for it. And I hope that's not the case. I'm still keeping an open mind, but we'll kind of see as we go here. But yeah, modders, the modding community is amazing for both of those games. Hey, X-Up, good to see you again. Hey, Mayor, welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's kind of the goal here, is to help people play through this, this game and get more enjoyment out of it, because the mechanics can be a little bit difficult for people who don't have any Dungeons and Dragons experience, or, like I say, it's been a really long time since Baldur's Gate 2 came out, so a lot more teaching goes on in this one than what you'll see after we get really into the Starfield stream. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Oh, geez, yeah, Cyberpunk would have been a disaster. But Cyberpunk was so involved that up front, with all the issues that Cyberpunk had, modding community wouldn't have been able to save anything about that game. You couldn't have done anything until a year later when it stabilized. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen this week. That was my first time playing the game. I've certainly noticed some issues when we got into the first major city there with some frame rate slowdowns. I think I dropped from 67 average, and this is all on my ultra settings. I'm not going to adjust the settings until I can figure out if it's going to really work or not. But yeah, I think it dropped from 67 down to 37 or 40 average. So I'm going to go through it. It's to be expected. It really is with a game like that. Frame rates are always a lot more dependent than they are in a top-down kind of turn-based game like PG3 is. So I fully expected there was going to be some GPU issues that even my 3080 Ti was going to have to deal with. So this whole week is going to be spent playing my off-stream playthrough and starting to look at optimizations to get frame rate working and all that sort of stuff. I had to make some changes at the last minute. I'm running at 4K, 60 FPS uncapped here on my personal machine, but I can't stream that out. I don't have the internet for it. So it goes out at 1440p and 60 frames a second on the streams. But I've had some issues when it started up with resolutions and frame rates and that sort of stuff, so I'm going to spend this week kind of trying to troubleshoot a little bit more. But yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. Thanks for giving me the heads up on that, Exit. And I am probably going to have to take a tiny break in the middle of this stream. I don't like doing that, but I took a break, got some quick food and drink in me, and I'm afraid halfway through the stream I'm just going to have to take a break to to deal with that, but we'll see. It is, Philip, it really is. It's some very highly anticipated releases. And that's why I think Larian did something that, honestly, I've never seen another studio do in the history of my... Well, I take that back. I saw it one previous time with a Halo release. But moving their launch date up on PC a month to avoid releasing the same week as Starfield is just unheard of. It's just unheard of. You don't ever see that. Normally, if that conflict happens, you would see a delay. Somebody would go, we're not going to release our game for another month after that one releases. However, Larian had such confidence in the fact that they were able to put out a game that was very playable a month earlier than they expected. It was just crazy. So, again, one more very impressive thing about Larian Studios. But yeah, you're right. It's a very, very busy end of the summer here. So, I played Cyberpunk, but I have not continued playing it, and I won't continue playing it. Cyberpunk, when it came out, I was playing on console back then. It was an unmitigated disaster. It was just unplayable, simply unplayable on console. And when they did all the console updates and releases to try and stabilize it and make it work, and that took 3.5 weeks for it to happen, it was still grossly overpowered for what the engines were available in consoles at that time, and it still didn't run very well. They had to release a completely special update once the Xbox Series X came out to try and bump things back up to where they thought it could be. It just wasn't well designed at all when it came to consoles, so it left a really bad taste in my mouth with all the issues that they kept going through. It just wasn't a very well thought out release, I don't think. And for CD Projekt Red, they burned a lot of bridges with that release. They built up a whole lot of credit with the community with Red Dead Redemption, and they burned all that credit that first month after Cyberpunk release. So getting it back is going to be hard for them. They're going to have to do some work. Yeah, that's exactly right, Philip. It never should have been released. And if you go back into the history of it, that's when Xbox, because of the disastrous release of it, that's when Xbox started implementing their minimum performance standards for games. And that's why games are delayed a lot, because they have to be able to run at certain performance characteristics on certain consoles. And if they don't, Microsoft and Sony won't allow them to be published on the consoles. So it's not, Philip, the Witcher series, that's my fault. So yeah, they just, everything was botched about it. It never should have been released that way. So, but yeah, I know you're absolutely correct. I was confusing the two things, Philip. The Witcher series, which was so popular. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get started here. I apologize if I have to take a quick break halfway through the middle of this or something. We'll see. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode number 9 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Bard gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes, today's been a little chaotic. This weekend is going to be a little chaotic. from a streaming perspective in that we added in a third live stream to our schedule, and this is the last week of the normal streaming schedule that we have because the NFL football season starts in the US next weekend, and well, actually starts Thursday, but starts normal Sunday games. So we're going to be adjusting our live stream schedule to accommodate that. So this morning I wanted to get out an early Starfield stream after the release, so that was this morning, but that Starfield stream is now going to move to Wednesday evenings. Now, I know for my overseas and European audiences that's way too late. That's going to be starting at midnight and later. And I apologize for that. I do have a full-time job that I work until 5. I don't get home until 5:30. So it's really hard for me to do it any earlier than that. And I'm just not able to take off work to be able to avoid it. So I don't have any other time to do it during the weekend. So I'm going to be moving that stream to Wednesday evening starting at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is again is Greenwich Mean Time -5 right now. So I know a lot of you won't be able to join me for that live stream, but the videos will be up after it's done and the end chapter markers and everything in it, so hopefully you can follow along, and maybe if you do get insomnia one night, you'll be able to join in on it for now. Once NFL football season ends, then that will move back to the Saturdays. But what we're going to do with these two live streams is the Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. stream is going to move to Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. So the Paladin gameplay is going to shift one day earlier at the exact same time. This stream, which is normally from noon until 3, is now going to bump up a little bit earlier. So it is now going to start at 10 in the morning here and run until 1 p.m. And then from 1 to 2, I'll take a break, get ready for the next stream, and then the Paladin stream will immediately start from 2 to 5. So that is a little bit early for some of my West Coast United States and Hawaii viewers, but not nearly as early as it was this morning with the first live stream being at 8 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully we'll have some median times there that is able to get everybody watching for both of the Baldur's Gate streams, and then the Starfield stream will be on Wednesday evenings, so, which I know we're not going to be able to see by a lot of my overseas viewers. I think that's the best way I can work it out since Sunday's really completely taken up with me. Getting ready for football, being at the games, being at tailgate, all of that sort of stuff all the way through the morning, through the afternoon, and then by the time I get home, I just need to start getting ready for work on Monday and don't have time to live stream. So pay attention to the community tab. I'm going to put out a post about it starting on Monday after we finish the Paladin stream tomorrow that will publish all the new times. On the About tab on my channel, you will see an updated live stream schedule that shows the Starfield stream as well as the changed times for this. Anybody who was watching last year at the same time, we went through the exact same thing. I just don't have one live stream going like I did back last year. I have 3 live streams going, so it's going to be a little bit more hectic, but bear with me through the end of this year while all those times remain the same, and then after the end of the year, once football season's done early next year, then we'll go back to 1 stream per day at more regular intervals than what we have here. So I appreciate your patience, and thank you for showing up to see the streams. So from the admin note, I think that's about it. Oh no, one more admin note. I can't believe I almost forgot it. Larian, unlike every other studio in the history of video games, is releasing patches and fixes at an extraordinary rate. They released patch number 2 this week. They had released patch number 1 last week with over 1,000 fixes. The list of changes this week is obviously smaller, but still no less important. They have their patch notes live, where you can go read them and take a look through them. There's some very important changes that go throughout all acts, but again, a lot of it is focused on Act 3, now that we're getting more and more players into the later stages of the game. they're able to find more and more issues that they want to correct, and they are just flat out correcting them. Anything that shows up in the forums, they are taking a note of, and they're instituting a fix for it. So hats off to Larian for their impressive patch and hotfix schedule. It's been really amazing to see. But go ahead and check that out and see if there's anything that might be impacting what you're going to be doing or what you've done in your gameplays. I think that will end our admin notes, and we'll get into a recap here. And for our recap, at the end of last live stream, we had kind of worked our way about halfway through the Blighted Village. The overhead section of Blighted Village. We had completed the Whispering Depths. We had read the Necromancy of Thay with Shadowheart. And we are now back above ground, and we have 3 more combat encounters. One of them fairly major, another one somewhat okay, and one really, really minor. But we're going to finish out exploring the Blighted Village today, and then we're going to head north into the Risen Road. And we're going to encounter somebody up there, and kind of go from there. But that's kind of the plan today, so let's go ahead and jump right in. And we'll pick up where we left off last week. And again, feel free if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the chat. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. Okay, so here we go. So when we left off, we were getting prepared for this encounter up here. There's a lot of goblins up here, a couple of wargs, and we've seen that there is a gnome that is trapped on the windmill here.
How long do you think he can scream for?
Yes, Philip, we are going to move that direction, yes. So we'll see how long it takes us to get through here, but that's where we're going. So what we're going to do is we left everyone in hiding out here. We're going to break the group, and we're going to kind of pre-position ourselves to get ready for this. And I want to start this off really with Astarion. So I'm going to move Astarion up here and get him onto some high ground up here and see what options he has while he's up here. I think he's going to be out of range of most of this, but it doesn't really matter to me if he's out of range or not. I just want him to initiate things if possible. So the nearest goblin that we're going to have is here. So if we look at his ranged attack, it is too far to here. So let's go back over here where he gets a little bit more height and see if he's in range here or not. Still too far. So we're gonna move Astarion down just to get him in range. And again, I don't care if he has sneak attack capabilities or anything like that here. I just want the combat to be initiated with him. So if I'm not able to do it against that goblin up there, then I'm just going to initiate it against anybody. And I have a 65% shot here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this and start the encounter here this way. Okay. So he didn't roll all that great, but they were all surprised. So now that we have the combat initiated, I can start looking at, based upon the detection cones, where I can start moving my other characters. So the detection cones up here are a little strange. I'm not gonna lie here. They get a little bit buggy. So I'm gonna move Lae'zel up here, but she might get brought into combat sooner than I would want, just because of how some of these cones are oriented. So we'll kind of see how it goes. That was kind of a shame that this warg turned around, because I don't think I'm going to have... I do. I'm within range here. So I've got advantage on this sharp eye up here. Okay, so that ended that one, and that did not bring her into combat. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure why. So the only way to get over here is if I jump. So I would like to get her down here. Let's see if I can move through there. No, I can't. Okay. So that's not a big deal. I did get her into combat. I was planning on having her into combat up here. She just managed to bypass it one more turn. So she got a free kill out of it, but got to exactly where we were. So now when it comes to getting Will in here, Will is going to be really focused on utilizing his Eldritch Blast during this. So I would like to have been able to deal with this Goblin Tracker here, but I'm not going to have that option, I don't think. Let's see where his jump skill can get him. So that's too far and it's too high. Yeah, he doesn't have the strength to be able to jump up there. So I'm going to have to get him involved in a different way. And I think I'm probably going to just start him off down here. I would like for him to be up top up here, but I don't think he has the range to be able to reach anybody from up here. So what I might do is just start him down here and get him into combat, and then on his next turn move him up there. Okay, so that managed to kill the Devout, which was really good. And yeah, now I'll just start moving, using his movement to get him up here. Can he? No, he can't. So we'll move him up onto the high ground over here, and then anybody who starts making their way down this way, he'll be able to deal with once he gets up here on the high ground.
Maybe I should stay crouched forever.
So now we're going to get our Bard into play here, and I think we're going to run into the same issue over here, that we don't have the strength to jump up here. Yeah, we do not. So can I get a combat inspiration on Lae'zel here? I can. Okay. So that's a good enough start for me. Lae'zel's up on the front line. We're going to have everybody else kind of dealing with whoever approaches from this way. So for Astarion here, again, I think we're out of range in that location. Yes, we are. So I'm just going to move him over here and get him ready for what's to come. See if he's got any extra range on his cantrip. He does. So we'll work a little bit on Fezzik, and then we will send him into hiding.
Let's find some prey.
Kind of move him back a little bit.
This is my time.
For Will, we don't have any more options left for him. If we had the ability to cast Hex on somebody, we would, but I think everybody's out of range. Yeah, they are. So we'll end Will's turn. Let their surprises wear off. And now we're going to be into the thick of it here. And we're going to move Lae'zel up here. She's going to be susceptible to more attacks the closer we move her up. But what I don't want them doing is climbing up here and trying to shove me off of this, which is one of their favorite tactics. So we're going to move down here and start getting our attacks in.
No time to waste.
And clear out as much as we can down here. No need for anything but a regular... I was just about to say, no need for anything except for a regular attack here, and we went ahead and rolled our first nat 1 of the day. So, wonderful. Okay, we'll try and get a daze here on the warg. I don't need any damage on that. And we're gonna hold off on our action surge until we get the other warg. The other warg's probably gonna try and move up to attack me.
It comes easy these days.
So that's what I want to wait on. So for my bard, we're going to cast Cloud of Daggers right here in the middle. And then try and move somewhere where we can maintain our concentration as we go. And hopefully anybody that comes toward my casters will walk through this. There are some paths on the side. They just tend to ignore those a little bit. So, looks like there might be only one path here, but this side there isn't. So, hopefully we can get some people walking through it and taking some damage. Okay, so they rolled a 22. So if I add, I'd have to roll a 6 to avoid it. So there's nothing I can really, I'm not going to waste my defense on that roll. Okay, she saved on the menacing attack, which is good. Ranged attack, that was at disadvantage. I think we're going to end up holding Astarian's turn again here. Maybe we can get in. Yes, we're going to hold his turn again. We'll just move him back out of the way up here to avoid detection, and we'll bring him in afterwards. We're definitely going to move up here to the high ground.
2 steps at a time.
And we'll wait on his turn and see who advances through here out of these 4 enemies. I think the warg is going to go this way. If nobody advances through here on this turn, then we will lapse our concentration and we will advance through this area. Okay, so looks like they're going to be focusing ranged attacks on Lae'zel from there, and they're not going to come towards us. So that's perfectly fine if that's the way they want to play this. I don't have any problem playing it with them. So this one's already gone. This Devout has not gone yet, but I don't have enough movement to get in there. Okay, so they're right next to each other in the list here. It doesn't matter one or the other which one I go after. Okay, and now for Lae'zel, hopefully with a 65% chance we can make this one land. If I use a menacing attack, it's, I mean, with 7 hit points, I just need to land a hit. Wow! Wow, I rolled a 3. We're starting off really well today, everybody. So I might as well try and... No, it's just a waste. I'd have to roll a 5 or a 6. That's only a 33% chance I'm going to roll that well to hit. Yeah, no, that was just really a waste. Ah. Okay, well. It's gonna be one of those days, chat. Okay, so time to bring everybody in here since they're all going to be focused on Lae'zel. We're going to bring everybody up. Okay, so it's all at disadvantage with ranged, but the cantrip, yeah, still same percentages either way. That'll just get him a little bit farther towards it. And he's probably not going to be able to hide here. Oh, he is. Okay.
Battle favors the fearless.
And then Will, again, is going to have to move down to get himself closer in here. Again, none of this is really a problem for me at this point. So, broke the concentration on Hunter's Mark. That's unfortunate.
Breathe deep and move.
We do want to get up here and we do want to cast another combat inspiration on Lae'zel. Oh, so this bugbear actually woke up. Nice. Okay, now, Lae'zel, are you going to be able to hit anything here? Okay, so I need a 4, so this is a 50-50 chance. Okay, so that one was worth it. Okay. Threw a gunpowder bomb on me. So we're going to dash again with Astarion.
Let's move.
Yeah, I didn't expect he was going to wake up during this encounter, actually. That's why I said in the intro that there was going to be one that was going to be a very small combat. Because, yeah, I would go over there and while he's sleeping, you sneak attack him and crit him and he's done. But I didn't expect him to wake up, but it doesn't matter that he is. So, here... going to get our bite attack. That removes that, and now we can see if we have advantage. We don't have advantage against anybody, but we do have our action left. So we'll try and remove the bless. Okay, saved against it.
On the victor's path.
And now for this, oh, he jumped up top. Interesting. Okay. I should have applied the hex first. And now we will move Will out of the way over here.
No choice but to keep going.
And we'll bring our bard in and probably going to go, because I don't know, we've got a 65% chance to hit. And it's going to be about a 40% chance to kill. Low percentages there. That's fine. Okay, so nothing serious there, so this warg is still frightened for one more turn, so let's try and frighten this one here. Sorry, chat, you can't see me rubbing my forehead. That's our second nat 1 of this encounter. Well, at least they're missing just as much as I am, but still. This is horrible. Okay, so we're going to dash. We're going to move out here. Go into hiding.
Time for a new approach.
Try and remove the devout from the field. Perfect. We're going to move back out of the way just to make sure none of them try and disengage and come toward me. I'll be able to move back there without a problem later.
I'm holding back.
Okay, so Will here. I'm going to try and hex his strength. Now Elder's Blast is at disadvantage because of that. Vicious Mockery would have to land a perfect roll, and it does.
Survival is all that matters.
And now for me at this point, I have some options here. I think that's probably still going to hit Lae'zel if I cast it there, even though it shows it's not going to. I could get all three of them. I think it's going to hit Lae'zel though. It doesn't show it's going to hit her until it moves there, but if I cast it here, I think it's probably going to hit her. And if it does, she's going to lose a lot of hit points, and there's still a bunch of people around her, so I think I'm just going to focus the two wargs here. Get my camera around here so I can cast it where I want. Okay. Can use my last spell slot here on her.
Fury, I am death.
So a 70% chance on Fezzik.
Stop! I give up.
That
I'm
was
alone,
outstanding.
please. I know things. If you let me live, I'll make it worth your while. I promise. My lot are kept nearby. I can get you inside. No hassle. You can loot it, do whatever. There's a hidden path. Past the bridge into the camp. Over to the side before you reach the first guards. Easy. No, wait!
Okay, so first let's remove
All's well that ends.
the Cloud of Daggers concentration, so I'm not moving around there. So yeah, they surrendered on that. So he received the condition surrendered during that attack. Yes. So, I killed him outright because of it. The Cloud of Daggers killed the warg on his next turn, and everything ended that way. So, not a bad outcome, not a bad conclusion to it. So, let's get... It was just a lot harder than it should have been because of the misses. There was just some intolerable missing going on in there. We're going to have my bard come up and loot that. She's keeping all the crafting ingredients. Okay, we'll do some quick looting and then we'll deal with Mr. Round and Round he goes here.
How much farther can I go?
Nothing really important down here for the most part, just stuff that you'll end up selling. And that took all of my action economy. Normally that fight's not that hard, but because of the initial misses, it turned into a much bigger fiasco than I expected. So my action economy is now entirely gone. So I'm definitely going to have to take a long rest after I've dealt with the gnome here. So we'll make our way around the back. We can break our group here and we'll go into the inside of the windmill. Now over here on the windmill are two levers. If you click the brake lever, it's going to stop the windmill. If you release the brake, the windmill is going to go out of control and the gnome is going to go flying off into the world and die. It's going to fling him off a bit. It's pretty funny to watch, but it's not something that I'm going to do here in this playthrough. Okay, so now that you're in here, you can head up the top of the ladder here. There's a little bit more looting that you can do up here. So there's a bow, a scimitar, and a spear. And there's also, like I say, some other items that you can take and that sort of stuff up here. But the main things are the camp supplies and that sort of stuff. Now we can make our way back down here and we will go over and talk to... We'll group everybody back up again and we're going to talk to Barcus here.
I want to have a word.
Cut me loose! Bag of Camara. There's pustulant thugs. Well, get on with it. You saved me, now you'll extort me. That's how this works, yes? My own fault, really. I should have dropped my pack and outrun those bastards. Alas. Take my pack, if you can find it.
The only reason those goblins caught me was its weight. I'll travel lightly from now on. Ignorance is alive and well, it seems. Deep gnomes aren't restricted to the Underdark, you know. I've lived in Baldur's Gate for years. I'm in search of a friend. I fear he's in trouble. See this? I gave it to him years ago before I left home. I found it around the neck of a thug in the lower city. It was speckled with blood. My friend, nowhere to be found. But I still have hope. I have reason to believe he's in the Underdark. Hopefully, I'll pick up his trail from there. I always help my friends. On that note, I bid thee farewell. If we should meet again, well, we will have met again.
Okay, so you get an inspiration out of that. I can get my hit points back, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be taking a long rest here as soon as I finish going through all of the looting and exploration up here. Okay, around the back of the windmill here, don't forget you have a wooden hatch. And yeah, Lou, it's pretty funny to watch him go flying. Like I say, it is certainly something that you can see in a lot of people's videos. So I just choose not to do it.
Careful.
So I'm going to have Astarion cast guidance on my bard.
Long road ahead.
We're going to walk up here. Doesn't look like there's anything going on with the chest and traps. We pick up the speedy light feet. We'll look at that here in just a second. And some more smoke powder.
On my way.
Looks like some clothing here. And I will go, remind me and I'll make a point of going over that. I don't think there's anything behind this. I know you can move it out of the way.
Still alive, so that's progress.
But yeah, there's nothing back here.
Should mind my step.
Couple of more crates left to search, and that should be it. Okay. So now we can head back up. And back here,
How delicious.
that's on Lae'zel, not who I wanted it to be on.
No time to rest.
Okay. Can move up here. There's a shield we can pick up. Okay, so there's no more religion check here around this. Used to be if you had Shadowheart in your party, you would have an interesting observation / conversation here about the statue. But I don't have Shadowheart in my party. She's not going to be back for a bit. So. Okay, so we've searched all of these. So we can head around this side. Just make sure there's nothing else down here. Okay, we did search the sheep. So now we can make our way back down where we were. So now if you look at kind of where we are, this is the direction that we're going to head. We've cleaned out the rest of the Blighted Village. We still have the Sunlit Wetlands down here to explore, but we're going to do that after we explore the Risen Road here. Okay, so we're going to bring everybody back down here. We've got a couple of crates that we can search here. Okay, I'm not going to bother going up there. And we're going to make our way
I'll give it a shot.
out these doors. Now, at this point,
What now?
I still have one inspiration left.
Looking ahead.
I have one bardic inspiration left. I still have vicious mockery, which can help because it's disadvantage.
Indolence breeds madness.
And Lae'zel still has 2 spell slots. I think I have enough
Sure,
action
wish to
economy
live
to
in
work
more
through this.
interesting times. Another step forward.
I really should take a long rest now, but we're going to... Actually, we do need to come back around this way first. Okay, so we'll pick up all of the camp supplies down here. This is where the sleeping bugbear was. And where he was digging up a crate.
What's hiding here?
Do the last little searching around here, and then you get this notification about blacksmith blueprints. And that's what these are.
They're sketches. More like early drafts than final blueprints.
Okay, so now we're going to head around here. We're going to search the outside here first. And... guidance again.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Okay, so nothing over
Have to
here.
keep going.
Hope y'all can hear that. I hear they have changed this encounter in the patch notes. But we'll see how it goes.
A feast fit for an ogre. You notice a peculiar dagger protruding from the tough, leathery meat.
Hey, you do have a sleight of hand check here, which is the highest numbers for us, so that's the way we're going to go. And we do have plenty of inspiration, so we could have re-rolled that if we failed it.
Your cautious method pays off. The dagger glides smoothly out of the mystery meat.
Now holding Alt, and that's just a dagger +1.
Mystery meat, tough as boar hide. Only the sharpest teeth could pierce it.
Okay, we do have some mugwort over here and a few things that we can search really quickly. Nothing worth anything here, it doesn't look like. There is another loose boulder over here, but again, nothing underneath. Okay, so now here at this location, I'm gonna put everybody in hiding, I'm gonna break my group.
Should mind my step.
And this can get a little iffy as well. Moving your characters up here.
Ready for anything.
Careful.
Lord Henry wants to see it.
Ready for anything.
We're gonna move Lae'zel down
Unheard,
here.
unseen.
And last but not least is Astarion.
Mystery meat, tough as boar hide. Only the sharpest teeth could pierce it. Mystery meat, tough as boar hide. Only the sharpest teeth could pierce it.
That would be interesting. Nope. Nothing there. So we're... Again, I think with this, we're going to start this off with Astarion.
Ready for anything.
So that we can hopefully get a good reaction out of it from him. And again, I'm anxious to see how they've changed this.
As you approach, a guttural scream and a succession of quick bangs rattle the door. Then, a low moan. Someone, or something, is having a bit of fun.
Before I do this, I might need to do a streamer thing. Okay. I don't know if I can while I'm in here. I honestly don't know what my settings are when it comes to that. So we'll see how this goes. If things go black for a little bit, I'll turn it back on when it starts. So
Let's leave them alone. I don't want to be invited to the wedding.
What the hell are you doing? Flind. Smash! Oh, smash you!
okay, and this is kind of what I meant by iffy. Sometimes when you're up here, you can be seen and brought into combat. So there is an option there that they've added to basically allow you to leave them be, talk your way out of it. There didn't used to be an option for that in the past. So we're going to bring Astarion back out here and go into hiding. That means they're going to walk out here. Lae'zel is going to be their first target, but hopefully they will dash when they exit out of here to try and reach Astarion. And that means that they won't be able to attack Lae'zel, and she'll be right there waiting for them when they come out.
Still on my feet.
So now, with my bard, and this is what I mean. See, she's standing up here on top, but she got brought into combat. She was somehow seen from inside there. I want to make sure that she is kind of out of line of sight, because the ogre can throw these barrels at you while you're up here. Okay, one dash, that's good. Turn the corner, perfect. Because now she's going to be in a bad spot for Lae'zel. And another dash, that's good too. Okay, so now Lae'zel's in combat here. Bathir's the biggest threat. But if I can lock Gruko in place. Okay, so he saved against the menacing attack. I'm going to hold my action surge until we get into combat with Bathir. Okay, so let's deal with Will here. So Bathir's got 15 hit points left. It would be best if I can eliminate Bathir, use Vicious Mockery with my Bard, or eliminate Gruko, use Vicious Mockery on Bathir to give her a disadvantage to her attack roll, so that when she goes after Lae'zel, she's got a good chance of missing. So let's try and eliminate Gruko here.
I found my mark.
Okay, so that is good, and now with Astarion,
This feels good.
he's fine without the detection cones. I think he's going to be okay with a sneak attack here. Okay, so he's not. So let's go into hiding. Then we'll do a sneak attack against him. Oh, wow. Okay, thank you. So let's dash.
Let's go.
We'll get down here. And we'll just wait for what's going to happen next. And now my Bard is not going to have
Where do I go from here?
a whole lot of choice here.
Can't slow down.
We're going to have to go after Bathir here and still try and give her disadvantage. Okay, so she has disadvantage on her next attack that's going to come up.
Let's have some fun.
Perfect. Alright, good. So, unfortunately, she's at the end of the turn. Maybe I can get a kill here. I don't think I can. Of course not, because that's her third nat 1 of the day. Oh. I'm wondering if she's like rolled above a 5, you know, as an average. Okay, so we're going to cunning action disengage.
Quickly.
We just get him back up onto high ground. He's still going to be in the detection cone, probably. Why is he not able to hide with his second bonus action? That's weird. Now he can hide. That was strange. Okay.
Can't stay idle.
So now with 1 combat inspiration left. Cast it there, and now we will keep, hopefully, the disadvantage on the attack rolls going. Okay, so she's saved against it. But Will also has that cantrip. So I'm not going to worry about causing damage with that. Good. Gave her disadvantage on the attack roll now again. Could have used Eldritch Blast, but I would rather impose that type of disadvantage on her attack rolls. Okay, so she dropped her weapon. I'll use the damage. Now, I would like to get in here.
Let's grab it.
Okay, good. So now we'll impose a vampire bite on her. And we shouldn't be able to... Oh, we can. We do have it here. So, sneak attack melee.
Nothing important is ever easy.
And that should be it of everything.
You're a vile blister. I shall prick thee.
Okay, so just in case Will misses here, she does have disadvantage with Vicious Mockery on her next attack. She's also disarmed, so she's just going to be doing her unarmed attacks against whoever she targets. Like I say, just in case Will misses a 75% chance or a 95% chance. This 1 in 20 here.
A bugbear and an ogre.
Oh, I've seen this. Gnomes can be...
So we will move everybody back out of here and regroup down below. Come on, Will. Thank you. Do some quick searching.
What's inside? With haste.
We can do the last of our searching out here. With these barrels, we'll move in here inside the stable. Do another quick look, and then we can head north and get ready to take our long rest. Yeah, except that the Nat 1s are flying fast and free today. Thankfully, I haven't been the only one rolling them,
Back
but
home will never believe this.
still, for one character to have all of them, it's kind of crazy. Okay, so we do have a Pegasus feather for a crafting ingredient for alchemy. We're going to be getting more into that once we get out of Act 1. In Act 1, it's not all that necessary, but we will be getting into it more as we progress through this. So the realm according to Bumpo is interesting. You could, yeah, for moving the barrels, Philip asked, the chances of them doing it are fairly low if you keep somebody down here that is visible to them. What happens is, the first time I think I ever played it, I moved everybody up here onto the roof before combat even started. I brought Astarion down, he opened the door, I ran him away and I put him into hiding. They came out here and couldn't see him, so they stopped. And then when Astarion went up to the roof the next time, they had no other choice but to throw barrels at me. And they threw a couple of barrels at me and really messed my party up. So I mentioned it just because of the possibility, but the chances are pretty low. It's kind of like the fight with Lump and the ogres over there.
Pockets.
If you're entirely up top, they're going to try and find ranged attacks to use at you, and that includes throwing items at you. So if you have at least somebody down below that they can melee target, then they'll kind of forget about those ranged attacks and try and focus on you that way.
Very well.
Okay, so we finished off this encounter here. We're going to head up this direction, and again, I'm going to have...
No one stopped me yet.
As we're moving into new territory over here.
Moving in.
Just opening up the mini-map and exploring some of these areas.
That's curious.
Okay. And I moved. That was really close. I'm glad somebody found it. I moved a bit too far there while I was getting ready to see if I could find it. Okay, so some thieves' tools. I don't think Astarion needs those, so I'm just going to pick all those up. We're going to end up probably selling off most of those. Because that mound used to be out here during early access. But it's not. They moved it to a different location. Okay, so what we're going to do is stop here at this location. You can see where we are. Once we cross this bridge, we're going to be into the Risen Road area of the map here. So we're going to go ahead and take our long rest here. Yeah, you can see we have Gale wants to talk to us here. But we'll go ahead and do our round of conversations.
Always a pleasure.
Shah's blessings upon you.
Okay, so nothing new from Shadowheart. We can pet Scratch here. And we'll go over and talk to Astarion.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Okay, so nothing new from him. Lae'zel.
Speak.
Nothing new. It's going to be important that Will is with us throughout the Risen Road section here. And we'll see what Gale has to say.
Oh. My, you startled me. I, was miles away.
No special reason, really. I was just practicing an incantation.
What can I say? She's Mistra.
I can't quite describe it. The need I sometimes feel to see her. To draw the filaments of fantasy into existence. No sculpture or painting could ever do her justice. Only the fabric that she herself is and embodies.
The weave. Mistra is all magic. As far as I'm concerned, she is all creation. Magic is my life. I've been in touch with the weave for as long as I can remember. There's nothing like it. It's like music, poetry, physical beauty, all rolled into one and given expression through the senses. Is it the same for you? Fair enough. Though in the end, we're still playing the same composition. Perhaps I can show you what I mean by reaching into the weave together. Then follow my lead. Now you.
A familiar feeling, like a kind word and a kind touch at the same time. It's warm and comfortable.
Excellent. Now, repeat after me. Athran mistraril kantrak eo.
Interesting to have a performance option on the bard here as well.
Ah, yes. The scent of rosewater and a sense of well-being. A sliver of weave that tastes sweet on the tongue.
Very good. Now, I want you to picture in your mind the concept of harmony, as true as you can.
You see, or is it sense, the unmistakable presence of Mystra, the Lady of Mysteries. There's something like the anticipation of a kiss, then the pleasure of being cloaked in peace. You are safe. You are nestled in the cup of Mystra's hand.
You did it! You're channeling the weave. How does it feel? You're hard to please, aren't you?
The weave connects you. The moment feels intimate. The weave evaporates, and as it does so, you realize the night feels suddenly cold and lonesome.
Oh. There it goes. How easily things slip away from us, no matter how hard they were in the obtaining. Good night. I enjoyed sharing a moment of magic with you.
So that's obviously your chance to start initiating your romance options with Gale. We can talk to him again here.
What's on your mind? I assure you it's not. Don't get me wrong, you did well. The somatic component, the verbal component, even the focus on the inner self that invites Mystra in. But I was still your conduit. To perform such a feat alone requires much and arduous study. Yet it is life's most worthy pursuit in my impartial, if not humble opinion.
Okay, so that finishes off everything there. And there's nothing new from Withers.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Okay, same things that we've learned from about Withers before. We're not going to go into the hirelings here. We are going to get into that when we are in the Paladin livestream a little bit later, but not right now at this point. So we're cleared out with all the conversations. We're just going to go ahead and head to bed here. So let's pick up the rest of this here. We need 11. Thought we had a... a 6 in here somewhere. Guess we don't. Oh, there's a 6 right there. So 6, and then a 5 here, and we're at 40. Always have to pet Scratch before we leave the camp. Okay, and now we're all good, so we're just going to go ahead and leave the camp. We'll be right back where we're about ready to cross into the Risen Road. And here, like I say, this is where it's important for the... And it's not important that he be actually with you during this, for the progression of his storyline. But remember, Will's storyline is very dependent upon hunting down Karlach. So having him with you during all of this has some unique changes. That you want to experience by having him in your party throughout this section. So we're going to cross over here to the other side. Bunch of camp supplies here that we're going to be able to pick up, and you see that we have some hyenas, and yeah, there's another one over here. We're going to go up and we're going to search this crate, and we're not going to move much farther forward than that. We'll move over to this side and search these crates first. Whoops. And we'll just replenish these camp supplies that we utilized just a minute ago. Alright, now we have a way to go here with a cragged rock. So we're going to head down here. And head underneath the bridge, and we have a couple of skeletons here.
Some old forgotten bones.
Okay, we pick up a potion of Featherfall. Very useful.
There are Harper and Druid symbols on their equipment. An interesting pair.
Okay, and we're going to have Astarion cast Guidance again.
Alright. What now?
And again, exploring new areas here. Okay, so her perception failed. So it's a decent, she just rolled a 4. So we'll have Astarion cast it on himself.
Let's be quick.
A 6.
Blackets will be done.
Okay, an 8. I haven't rolled above a 10 yet.
Don't touch me.
Defender of the people.
Alright. You rolled a 12, only got a 2 from guidance. So.
I'll give up now.
Alright. So we will forego that one. Actually, what we'll do, just so y'all know,
Nothing.
Okay, so nothing in here. It's not a dig perception check.
Nothing.
It's this rock right here. This rock you're able to pick up and move if you perceive it. And there's an item underneath of it. Okay, so we're not going to head any farther down that way. We're going to make our way back up here. I'm actually quite bummed about that. Because I think I remember what that item is, and I really wish I had it. Okay, so we have some hyenas down here, we have some more blood up here, and we have some gnolls who are up here, so we're going to make our way around this direction. And clear all this out, and then we're going to move around behind all of those gnolls. Yes, I am, Pete. For those of you who are playing this on your own, you definitely want to save scum that. And make sure that you pass the perception check down there for that. There's a very, very useful ring down there, especially to your thief type classes that you don't want to miss out on. Okay, so here are the gnolls that we saw previously. We're going to make our way around this way. Kind of position ourselves where everybody's behind this rock. And we'll go ahead and break our... So now here, we're going to start this off with Astarion again.
Move unseen.
And we're going to again hope that we get a really good roll. Okay, so we got one of them, so they were surprised, which is good. That's perfectly fine. So now what we're going to do is bring our bard up.
Breathe deep and move.
And make sure we keep it so that we can see her. And we're going to look at where we can cast Cloud of Daggers here. And get all 4 of the gnolls at once.
Watching and waiting.
Now for Will, we can just bring Will up and see if he can get off an Eldritch Blast that knocks them backward. And we're going to focus on the Gnoll Fang here. Oh, we just outright killed him. That's even better. And now for Lae'zel, we're just going to hold on Lae'zel's turn for now. There's no reason for her to be in here yet.
Another fight. Let's go.
So for Astarion, looking at the detection cones, he should be okay to hide here. Is that because it's out of range? Yes.
Then a through.
Let's see if he can move up a little bit. Okay, so he failed his hiding. Let's see if he can hide again.
I'll do it my way.
Nope. So we'll just get a regular attack here. So the Gnoll Hunter's close to dying. Okay, great. Miss. And we'll just move him back out of the way. Okay, so now for me, it really doesn't matter at this point. I'm probably going to... because they've got 5 hit points and 1 hit point left, I'm just going to end my turn here. There's no need for me to do anything else. I am going to get a Hex here, just so I can have Hex already as a reapplication with a bonus action once they're dead. Okay, so for Astarion, again, doesn't really matter. They're all going to die here.
Come on then.
Okay.
One day I'll catch a break.
So now we can end this concentration on Cloud of Daggers. And do some quick searching here and head down to the path again and look at the Hyenas. Which are down here.
What's in here?
Okay, so here you learn more about the lore of Baldur's Gate. Nothing really important.
Better be cautious.
So we're going to toggle our group here and be in hiding, and we're going to kind of move up here a little bit.
On my way.
I was trying to
And again, we're going to kick this off with Astarion.
let's have a
Now, these Hyenas are marked as non-hostile right now, but some of them are bloated. You can see the condition that they have. If you know anything about how gnolls reproduce, then you will understand how this works, or what's happening down here. Okay, so he ran away. So we'll go ahead and attempt to clean out the rest of them. Okay, so they transformed before we were finished. But that's perfectly fine. Okay, so Astarion rolled almost first, and now we have newborn gnolls here to deal with. Okay, so we're gonna move up slightly here so that we can get rid of this disadvantage. And we'll move out of the way and hide.
no trace.
And now we should be able to trigger sneak attack. Okay, got some big damage there, and now we can move Astarion back up out of the way. Now for everybody else,
Any more time?
we want to start getting them into the action here, and we are up on the high ground, which is what we want. And for here, I'm going to try and be a little judicious with my action economy here.
You infect mine eyes and nostrils.
So I'm going to try not to use up all of my spell slots here. I'm going to try and focus on cantrips, if I can. That's going to be moving Will down quite a ways, but I think he's still going to be able to get back. Yeah, he will be able to. Move back out of range, and now for Lae'zel. Lae'zel's going to go... Now, this hyena is going to still have to dash to get to me. Unfortunately, Nope, their detection cones are fine. So let's move Lae'zel down here. Now that I got rid of this one here that was looking upwards, all of these are looking downwards.
This must be where the Gnolls attacked.
So let's move Lae'zel down here and start things off. Okay, was hoping she'd get an outright kill, but she came up a little bit short.
There's blood in the air. This is my time.
Okay, so I'm going to end up taking a short rest after this anyway, so let's try a pommel strike here, of course. She comes up just a tiny bit short on all of them. This hyena is going to dash. Now, Astarion can move quite a ways down there, so we'll have him dash to move back into range.
Keep guessing.
We'll watch the detection cones again, so we'll move him up to the edge here. Put him into hiding.
Just like old times.
Okay, so he's not going to be able to get a sneak attack. They're both outside of range here. Another one.
2 steps at a time.
Time to push my luck again.
And then here, hopefully, we can end this one. Okay. Now this hyena is... how far away?
Victory awaits.
15 meters. There's no way it's got a movement speed that high. Movement speed is just, it's always showing 0 when you're in combat. It's very strange, but yeah, there's no way it can cross that in one turn, so...
So much for peace.
It'll dash. Okay, maybe it will cross that distance in one turn. And again, not really caring all that much about these. It's not going to be a problem getting rid of the hyena.
Never a dull moment. Life-ridden curve. Victory awaits.
Unless we roll another one here. Okay. Thank you.
Must be on my way.
Okay, so we can go down here and search this area. There's going to be, again, camp supplies down here. Okay, you are going to find some items on the Hyenas for a potion of speed, so it's important to loot all of the Hyenas because these Hyenas' ears are very, very valuable to be able to craft potions of speed. Okay, so it's showing the bloated hyena corpses that were left over. I was like, there's nobody there. And we find the dead caravan agent. Now this leads to the shipment orders, which you can see this delivered me the chest. This is what will happen if you open the chest because you'll be dead. And from an NF. And that's going to start a new quest. Find the missing shipment.
Bet that'll fit in my pack.
Alright. We'll continue making our way down here, and there's a whole lot of camp supplies on the ground. Now, all of these you can pick up, even the half-eaten apples are worth 1 camp supply.
Just another crate.
Okay, so we are definitely going to take our short rest here.
Awake and alert.
And we have all but one of our 2nd level bard spells. We have all of our superiority die back, and we have all of our warlock spell slots back. And we're going to need it.
If not over, then through.
We are not going to go down here first. We're going to head up across the bridge first.
Whatever killed those gnolls might be nearby. Careful.
Search Buckle here. He's got some camp supplies. Okay, that's to be expected. We'll just clear this out a little bit here real quick. Have Lazel carry most of this. And we'll move up some of these items up here, just to make inventory management a little bit easier in the future. Okay, the Alchemist Fire is still down here. And we actually want to put some of those on Astarion. Having him be in a good position to be able to utilize those is also very useful. Okay, and the rest of this can move up. Oh. Forgot they were all still selected. Okay, and I think that's good for now. Sorry, it's taking me a little longer. I should have organized this off stream. I apologize. So now everything from here down is a where, and everything there can now go to Lae'zel. Okay, I apologize. Should have cleared up a bunch of this stuff off stream, so you're not sitting here watching me click and drag things around. Okay, that gets me good enough. So do a little more searching as we cross the bridge here. And we will look over our inventory here and find out how we want to start approaching this encounter. Because this is not fun. This is a lot different than it was in early access. So if you are expecting this encounter to run the same way as it did in early access, I have some bad news for you. In early access, this encounter was nothing. It was quite easy. Here in the full version, it is immeasurably harder. This is now one of the more difficult encounters that you're going to run into in Act 1. And that is assuming that you play it in the way that I'm going to play it. You can play this a different way, in that they will then just give you a very powerful item and they will walk away. However, you have to do something that I'm not going to do in this playthrough. However, I am going to do in the Paladin playthrough. So tomorrow, once we get, it actually won't be tomorrow, but the Paladin live stream, you'll see me play this encounter a slightly different way. So for now, let's kind of look over where we're at. So the Speedy Light Feet is whenever the wearer dashes, they gain lightning charges. Now, Astarion dashes all of the time right now, so having him gain some lightning charges is going to give him a bonus to damage one way or another. So having him have those for now is not a bad thing. There are better uses for it once you synergize it with other things. But for now, he's the one that dashes all the time, and those lightning charges are going to get him a straight bonus to his damage when he does that. So let me look and see we have anything else here. Okay, so we're going to change the Moondrop Pendant to Lae'zel. I am also going to have Lae'zel wear this shield. Will doesn't need Rain Dancer anymore at this point, so let's up his armor class. Well, can he?
The pride of the gate.
Okay, so let's up Will's armor class here. And it really doesn't matter what his weapon is at this point. So let's just give him something that he's going to be proficient in, because again, it doesn't really matter. I don't think I have any rapiers left in here. I don't. But again, it doesn't really matter as long as I get him to wear the shield. I'm trying to get everybody's armor class down, except for Astarians. I don't really care about Astarians as much. I'm trying to get everybody's armor class up high as we can get it for right now, because like I say, the chances of this going south really fast are quite possible. So we have a potion. We've got 3 potions of speed here. We've got 2 here. Do we have potions of speed here? We do not. So we'll move this one to Lae'zel. And I think this is as good as we want this to be for now. Actually, let's split this again. And we'll move one to Will as well. Okay, I'm going to utilize a lot of the things that I have available to me.
And, well, in it.
But right now, it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to go talk to Anders.
What's the discussion?
Who's there? Please, keep your distance. You're welcome to shelter here, but we've grave injuries to tend to. A devil, the most deadly foe we've yet encountered. We are paladins of Tyr, Lord of Justice. He sent us after an infernal being, straight out of the 9 hells, hiding in the form of a one-horned tiefling.
One horn? Then you mean Karlach, Archdevil's bootlicker.
You know her, which means you know what the Fiend is capable of. She slaughtered countless refugees fleeing the Absolute. Yesterday, she butchered an entire family without mercy. We were lucky to survive our encounter with her. She ran toward the river when she saw we were merely wounded, not dead. Down the hill from here. She must pay for her crimes. If you capture her, you will have served Tyr where we could not. This is the sword of justice, blessed by Tyr. I've wielded it since I swore my oath. It's all I have, but it's yours if you stop her. Bring me her head, and Tyr will consider her crimes repaid. May the just God guide you.
Okay, so right now they're non-hostile. We can go around and we can talk to everybody.
If you want to go poking around in the cellar, be my guest. Plug your nose first, though. Corpse, half rotted to mush. Must have been down there a 10-day or more. It was a Tollhouse. By the time we arrived, it was more like a slaughterhouse. There's more monsters than coin moving down this road. There's a locked door down the hatch. Doesn't look like anyone's managed to get in. If there's any gold left, that's where it'll be.
Okay, and now we can go through this door over here.
Time to press ahead.
And here is Cyrell. She's a trader. We'll go talk to her.
Need any supplies? We've fewer mouths to feed now. 2. Both stalwarts of Tyr, sworn to uphold justice. The Lord of Justice sent us after a devil haunting this area. We squared off against her. We lost. Talk to Anders if you want the details. I don't have it in me to recount the horror.
Okay, so we can trade here. There's no interest in bartering with her. You don't need to try and improve your attitude with her. She's not going to be around that much longer. So let's go ahead and sell off some of the other items that we're carrying. Okay, I don't think we have enough to be, or she has enough to be able to buy all of those. She doesn't. I can keep the smoke powder satchel. And I can keep the holy water. I can keep the grease bottles too. So it looks like I've got some things marked as wares here that shouldn't be, but that's fine. Once we're done selling all of these off, I'll keep the caustic bulbs and the void bulbs. And the rest of these are all just standard things. So it looks like, and the thieves' tools, not going to be able to sell all of those. Okay, the rest of those I can remove from wares. Okay, she doesn't have anything that I really want.
In Tia's name.
So she had some items, yeah, that were down here that were already at the bottom that I didn't see because I didn't move them up. And she's going to utilize a few of these here as we go through this. But those she will sell. Okay, so we've kind of found out that we've got some people up here looking for Karlach. So now we're going to make our way out here. And just to try something, I'm going to close that door behind me. Make my way down here and we get our first inclination that we got some issues here. So, the dead toll collector.
A hero at heart.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Vance. Toll collector. Jumped to escape. Broken. Gold basement. Locked. I fell. Dropped key. Anywhere. Away. Safety.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, and now that he's used that, we can put Komira's locket back on. And he'll still have access to the Speak with the Dead spell for the rest of this.
Never a dull
So
moment.
when he fell, he dropped the key. So we're going to move down here toward the water, and as you hold Alt, you can see there's a toll collector's key here. Okay, there's some more alchemy supplies over here.
These boots have seen everything.
And here you definitely want to have a save. You're going to get one anyway, I believe.
Something's on my
One horn. The stink of Avernus. Advocatus Diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you. Bloody right. An honor to be chased by the Blade of Frontiers, but
A great heat roars through you, her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood, the Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
what was that?
Evidence. Proof that you're a devil. A gladiator in the archdevil Zariel's army.
I can explain, but it's a whole situation. If you just hear me out...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Her rage and desperation seep into you. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
She's trying to trick us. Don't believe her lies.
You saw the truth. I never wanted to serve Zariel. I was enlisted in her army against my will. Forced to fight, and fight I did. When I saw an opportunity to get away, I took it. Finally home. Or near it, anyway.
You served her. That's enough to damn you.
Will catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
You don't know what you're saying. You're asking me to trust a devil.
You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce.
I'm Karlach, but you already knew that. And you are... Well met, soldier. Nice to meet a friendly around here. It's been tough going so far. I may not be a devil, but I can put the Blade's reputation to work. How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards? Little background if your moral compass needs something to point at. You already know I fought in the Blood War. I was good. Really good. It turns out I've got a knack for killing demons. That made me a valuable asset. Zariel, the archdevil herself, made me as her personal attack dog. I played along until I could get the fuck out of there. But devils don't like to lose their assets. Zariel liked it so little. She sent a bunch of goons, so-called paladins of Tyr, to take me back. Problem is, I'm not going. Fuck yes! They cornered me outside the Tollhouse just up the hill. Doubt they've gone far after the scorching I gave them. Then we can work on evicting this parasite and take Faerun by their short hairs. Sound good? I'd hug you if it wouldn't scorch your skin off. Hang on, though. Looks like you've got enough backup at your side. Not sure there's room for me. I'll catch up with you when it's time to camp for now. But don't get to any of the fun stuff without me. Got it?
Okay, so we can talk to Will after this.
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly. I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats.
Gods, what now? Do you have a tax collector on your tail?
You're closer than you think. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me.
Remember those lines, because they will come back to haunt us. Okay, so now we're going to go back up here to the top.
No traps, please.
And we're going to deal with this encounter. And like I say, it has a rather high percentage chance of going south. So I'm going to try and minimize.
I don't need any attention right now. Don't waste a step.
Problems that I might have, but I cannot guarantee that. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, and I'm going to break the group up here, and I'm going to stay on the high ground here. I'm going to, as usual, kick things off with Astarion.
Keeping low.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I think I'm just going to keep Will up here. And we will see how this goes. And again, we have some strange detection cone things happening here. So... Alright, so... What I'm going to do... here... Yeah, I am going to kick this off... couple of different ways. What I would like to have happen and what's actually going to happen are going to be two entirely different things. So we'll see what happens here. Or I'm just thinking about which direction I want to do this from. Why do I have disadvantage? Disadvantage from, oh. Is it because... Okay, yeah, it's because of the boots. I forgot about that. So it doesn't really matter what he's wearing. They're not going to cast web during this encounter. I doubt she's going to dash, but she will get athletics +1 out of it. So might as well put them there. Okay, so now I have it. So let's see if we can get an arrow of Ilmater on him here.
Saw more to fight.
And he missed.
And now you have fun.
Great. Okay, so now Astarian's turn, and it looks like the detection cones are still okay. So he missed that chance, but the detection cones are not overlapping me, so I'm going to cunning action hide here again, and I'm going to try and get another arrow here of Ilmater on him, okay? And I'm going to cause as much damage as I possibly can. And the arrow of Ilmater is going to keep him from healing himself on this next turn. And now I want to get Astarian the hell and gone.
Don't linger.
Okay, so now what I would like to know... Okay, so Sorrel, I can't tell where her detection cone is, but I think I can get Lae'zel down here. Let's just have her open the door. Okay, so Cyrell's detection cone is facing up against the wall.
Unheard, unseen.
Okay, and now for this, it doesn't matter. Well, if I remove it, I'm gonna have to bring it back later, and I don't want to waste the action to do it. Okay.
Taking my time in the shadows.
My bard is going to have to stay down here, I think. I might be able to remove Lae'zel from here, but we'll see. Okay, so what I'm interested in trying to do is %50 chance there. Yeah, 50% chance either way I do it. Okay. So that removed her, which is good. And now I'm going to move my... I'm going to use... Actually, that just put her into combat and she's got her action back. So I'm going to give Lae'zel a combat inspiration, and I'm going to move my bard back out of here. And back up top. Okay, so she doesn't have enough movement to get there, but that's fine. Now, Will... I don't think there's a whole lot that I want to do with Will. I definitely do not want to move him into this room. So I think what I'm going to do is just put Will up here on the high ground. And around this corner. Actually, I would like to have him... Well, no, just in case they come up here, I can move him back into that room later. Okay. So that's fine.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
Okay, sorry, I gotta think through a lot of these actions, because if I make one mistake, one of my characters just dies. It's just that simple. Okay, so here's Anders. He's gonna dash. Okay. So, He needs a 19 to hit. He rolled a 21, so that's 2 difference. I need to roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6 for him to miss. And that means I've got a 66% chance with Valiant Defense. And of course, he still hit anyway. And now you can see what has changed about this. Anders has always been a capable combatant. Anders is a paladin, and he's using Divine Smite. And that was an extra 7 damage just on a pommel strike, neglecting anything else. That was just on a pommel strike. So I didn't plan this correctly here. In that I should have tried to get Lae'zel out of the way so that even when he was within dash range, he wouldn't be able to reach. But for now, I think I'm going to have to adjust here. And I think I'm going to have to just try and beat down Anders as much as possible. And I'm going to try a disarming attack here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my bonus action to drink the potion of speed. I'm going to try that again. Okay, and he saved against it twice. I was hoping to try and get him to drop his sword. That just didn't work. Okay, so a big hit. So now I can move Astarion back into this room and have him try and go after Trin.
This will do nicely. Now they see me.
Okay, so that worked out well.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Now, he doesn't have a whole lot of hit points left. However, there's a slight problem here. If you examine Anders, he does have a +1 to his wisdom checks. Let's see if we can actually... With Dissonant Whispers, this is about an 85% chance, but it's only a 25% chance to hit. And it's going to be the same thing with all of these because of his aura of protection that he's got. He's got a +4 bonus on saving throws. So I think my best option here is just to try and end this, and I'm going to try and move into this room a little bit farther because I want to clear the doorway. Okay, good. Alright. Anders is more than capable of not one-shotting, but one-turning even Lae'zel here with her 36 hit points. His Divine Smites, if he gets them off, hurt really, really bad. And part of that is because he's level 5. So at level 5, not only do Paladins get Divine Smite, but they get extra attacks. So he can use the Divine Smite twice, And then, like you saw, he has a pommel attack with his bonus action where he can Divine Smite on that as well. He will just walk straight up to your face and just nuke you. And we've seen that with the Paladin that we play in our playthrough, how easy that is to happen. And he can do it one character right after another. He'll do it once, then he'll walk over to the next character and do it right to them again. So playing that so that you draw Anders to you and that you start off with getting damage in on him at the very start, and hopefully with an Arrow of Ilmater, which if he fails the save against it, and I don't have any more here, but it doesn't allow him to heal those hit points on his for one turn, because otherwise he'll lay on hands on himself. So if you cause all that damage with your first sneak attack and then he heals it all back, it was worthless. So the Arrow of Ilmater is key there to keep him from laying on hands on himself. So yeah, Philip, it's easy. It's easy for him to do it, and he has no qualms about just ruining your entire life. So now that we have him dead, let's go ahead and bring Will back into this, and we can actually put Will up here up top because the detection cones are not going to overlap this. Okay, and she is going to get a turn here.
Time to strike.
Okay, so she's still dazed.
On the move.
Okay, so let's try a disarming attack here again. Yeah, it's just and now we'll use her second wind ability here. But we still have plenty of attacks left to try and finish this. Alright. And if she wasn't going to be able to finish it, then Will would have been able to strike with advantage down here and hopefully end it that way. So, careful planning on that is key. I cannot express that enough. That you need to plan that encounter out, or else Anders is just going to make a meal of you.
I'm so tired.
I
do this all day.
talk to Karlach first. If you talk to Karlach and you save her first, as soon as you walk in the door, Anders will know it, and you will instantly get attacked, and now you're not prepared for it. So go talk to them first, get any trading you want done out of the way, and then go talk to Karlach afterward. And now that that's done, then you can get your sneak attacks ready and that sort of stuff. So, alright. So I think that worked out. So we'll go and deal with Anders here, and we're definitely going to pick up the Sword of Justice. We've got some camp supplies we can send off. But all of this will go to Lae'zel. And I can start using her to do the searching here. And I do need to get all... I do need to use the short rest to get my action economy back. I will pick up all of that. And now Will can use his Speak with the Dead here on the refugee.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Infernal
spell's power wanes, you can ask no more questions.
Oh boy, yeah, having Lae'zel and Karlach both in the same party is an incredible burst of damage that you're going to have available to you. So now we can go through here and just do a little searching. Most of this is going to be camp supplies that we can send off. But yes, the Sword of Tyr, or the Sword of Justice, is an amazing weapon.
Something good here, I hope.
Actually, I was gonna do, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. We're gonna have Lae'zel carry these things anyway, so let's have her do the searching around here.
Repositioning.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of different types of weapons we can pick up while we're in here, but they're all just standard weapons. Do have a few camp supplies also. Now, holding Alt, you can look and see some things that you might have missed. Come back around this way and do some searching over here. Whoops. Okay, so
Still breathing, despite everything.
we are going to now head into, and I believe these are upstairs, but we can pick them up through the floor, it looks like. But we'll go upstairs here in a second. Did we search Trin? I don't think we have yet. We haven't. And we're going to head downstairs.
The rot of death. Delightful.
Okay, a lot of things to search down here as well, so we want Lae'zel to be doing this.
What lies within?
Okay. Now over here to this corner. And like I say, a bunch of camp supplies down here. So especially dependent upon your character selections and whether or not you need to use more long rests, like with the paladin classes and that sort of stuff, then you definitely want to take advantage of all of these camp supplies being down here.
Onward.
Alright, so Will
Defender of the people.
can recast his Speak with the Dead.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Toll collector, Martin. Goblins, laughing, cutting, hiding, frightened. Gods abandoned me and Vance.
Okay.
Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood.
So, unfortunate for him. Alright, and we have the last set of crates over here on this side. Actually, we will have her pick that up. Alright, and now we can open up the vault door here. Okay, so we had 3 perception fails, but you can see it. I don't know if that's a bug or not, but we will see if Astarion can find it.
Keep your distance, darling. Subtle steps.
Okay. So, these perception checks are all going to be DC 15. So, they're not easy to pass at all.
Well, hello.
But you don't necessarily need to pass them either.
Let's move. Never wanted the easy path.
That might be worth a look.
Okay, so the burrow hole is interesting.
Trap.
Okay, so you was able to find that one. So that's what all of these are. We've seen these vent type traps before.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
Okay. What we haven't seen yet is the trap trigger. And that's what's important here, is how these traps are triggered. So we're going to have Lae'zel come in here and we're going to do searching. I don't care whether she perceives any of these traps or not. Doesn't matter. And we're just going to search out this room here real quick. There's going to be a lot of clothing in here. Some various things that you can take and sell. Camp supplies, that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of it in here. And you don't want to miss the ones that are in the middle here either. Holding Alt, there is a hammer up here on top. Okay, thank you for jumping down there so carefully, Lae'zel. I appreciate that.
A crate. Fascinating.
Okay, that should be everything here. So now we'll send her into this room. And again, we don't care if she finds those traps or not. These are all just things that we're going to be able to turn around and sell. And like I've said before, y'all don't have to do this. So This is something I concentrate more on making sure that I have as much money as I possibly can in this game. Because you never know when you're going to get that one particular item show up at a vendor that you are going to regret not having the money for. So for me, it's all about maximizing my gold supply here in Act 1. Later on, gold becomes a lot less of a grind or a lot less of an issue. Okay, then here on the table, like we do have a couple more camp supplies. Okay. Last thing I'll do is just come around to this side, search the last of these burlap sacks, and that should be it. Okay. So, now we don't know where the trap trigger is. However, we have 2 stone chairs which you're able to use, and you can see they look a little weird. There's an outline in the middle. So we're going to have Lae'zel
A pressure plate? Curious. There must be a trick to it.
and that outline in the center, like she's telling you, is the pressure plate.
Checking things out.
Watch your back.
Okay, so I'm going to have Astarian cast guidance.
These things have stayed interesting. Need to find a way forward.
And here, they've changed this a little bit.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Okay. So, there's a trap here that I perceived. But I can't see.
What a day. This way.
And honestly, that's not because I'm going to save scum. It's because honestly, this thing is now different. And where the plate is, I can't see it. Okay, so that was bad. Okay. So, you're in turn-based mode. Are you going to stay in turn-based mode? Thank you. Okay, so that pressure plate is real close to the entrance, but you can't even see it to click on it. See, like right now, I can't even click on it until you're physically in the room with it. So your movement has to be very, very close. And normally it does, Eric. Normally when you open that, you can see into that room. In this case, I was not able to. So I'm not going to count on the fact that anybody else is going to be able to see it either. But when you move up here to this room, you have to move very, very short movements. Okay. So right now, it doesn't do me any good to care about this trap anymore. What I can do now is just look through this room and see what options I have here as far as what I want to pick up. Okay, because I am now poisoned. So that poison damage is going to keep ticking as I go through here. Okay, and that's about it. So I'm going to... yeah, I think that's going to be it. So we'll just make our way back toward the rest of it here, and everybody else, I'm just going to try and exit them out of this room. Except for my bard. Going to keep my bard in here. But everybody else is going to dash out of here. As far as they can get.
Proceeding.
I can't move her. That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Sharp as ever.
Will has to stay there throughout his turn. My bard is now going to have to move over here.
At the ready.
Okay, so the poison ticked again. Let's get Astarion out of that room. And we're actually going to jump him first. And then move him as far as he can go. Lae'zel, we should be able to jump her mostly out of the way here. We can.
An efficient path.
Needed.
And now everybody else can dash out of here.
Heading out.
Okay, so he still has some movement left.
Never a dull moment. What path lies before me?
Let the poison tick again. That should be it for the poisons, I believe.
Sharp as ever. One move ahead.
Well, hello. Over here.
Okay, now we can exit turn-based mode.
All right. What now?
Okay, so I don't have any short rest left, but I do have a Song of Rest from my bard.
And here I go.
Okay, and now I can group everybody up and head up the ladder. So, wasn't intending for that trap to trigger, but I just have to work around it at that point. There's not really any other choice, and I'm trying to keep my action economy
Sharp as ever.
here. because there is one more encounter that I would like to get through here.
Worth examining.
Today, if I can. And we're going to head out and go do that now. So let's just loot the rest of this room real quick. And we'll head out. Didn't need to read that, just wanted to pick it up. She has a habit of now standing on top of stuff to loot it.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Okay, so we're going to make our way out here. We're going to have Astarion, then...
Not on my mind. And, well, in it. Can't slow down. Bodies everywhere. Accident or sabotage.
Okay, and then she was able to find the mound. And we'll start working our way around here. There's the waypoint that we opened up here now. Okay, so there are a couple of ways that we want to look at doing this. And really the way that we're going to go about it is by approaching it from this direction here. Okay, there is a set of combat happening out here. We're going to get involved in it, but we're going to get involved in it in a different way. You can see there's multiple climbing spots where you can get up to different areas here.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Okay, now here... I'm going to remove the wooden planks here. And I'm going to do it with a non-flaming weapon. So if you go in here with Lae'zel on her flaming sword, something you probably don't want to do. And speaking of that, I can now re-equip Lae'zel here. Okay, and I'm going to break my group.
Keep your distance,
Have Astarion cast guidance.
How did you last so long without me?
And we're going to move her in here. And again, we're going to take this very, very slow.
Watch how you go.
Okay.
There's a trap.
So we found that one. Now we can bring Astarion up.
Tread lightly.
You can have him click on it. and then immediately turn around and cast guidance again on my bard. And this is just because it's not that I don't trust Astarion to do it, it's just with her wisdom and her perception proficiency, she has a much better chance of finding these than Astarion does.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay, and that should be everything.
No one stopped me yet.
I believe, but let's verify that.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Yes, that's it. So we'll have her search this backpack over here, and then we'll group everybody up and have them all make their way in here. There is a crate you can search up here if you want. But, like I say, nothing really important here. Now we're going to make our way up to this spot as close as we can so that we can jump across to this side. And we're not going to move ourselves very far into there.
Someone there?
It keeps utilizing the wrong jump on Astarion.
Assume nothing.
And why is Will's path interrupted?
Best foot forward.
Okay, so now I'm going to put everyone into hiding, and I'm going to move Astarion out here to start this encounter.
What's that?
Who the hell's... Get over here and help! If we don't deal with them gnolls, none of us are getting out of here alive. Thanks. Me and the boy will do what we can to help. We've still got some fight in us.
Okay, so he rolled really well on his initiative. Again, exactly what we wanted. And we can see these detection cones are not all enemy detection cones. They're also friendly detection cones as well. So the issue that you have here is Flind. Okay, Flind is a huge problem here.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So what I want to do is bring Will up here. Actually, not Will.
Never believe this.
Why aren't you in hiding?
Friendly-looking shadow. These boots have seen everything.
And get a cloud of daggers down. Now I want to cast this in the choke point here, as far forward as I can without moving. into the detection cone. Okay, so that did not trigger her into combat. And I want to trigger her into combat. Okay.
With every breath, a purpose.
So now with Will, what we're going to be doing with Will is utilizing his Eldritch Blast as they come through here to try and knock them back onto the other side of it so that then they have to cross into it again. But until they reach that point, I don't think there's a whole lot he can do from here. So we're going to hold off on his for now, and I'm just thinking through this as I go. And Lae'zel is going to go on the flank of a lifetime.
Not one false move.
Whoops.
Objective noted.
I do not want her to get involved in this combat immediately. However, I am going to want her involved in this
Into the shadows.
momentarily, just not right off the bat. I want some of them to go through that cloud of daggers before I bring Lae'zel into combat. There are no other enemies or anything like that out and around here. But I'm going to stick her down here and get her in preparation for entering this combat here, just not right this second. I want to get some of them inside of there first before I bring her in to attack what's out here. So that way they're stuck on two sides of the cloud of daggers. Okay, so Astarion, I'm going to move him up here to the top. So we're going to dash first. The detection cones are going to cover me up here, but that doesn't really matter. That's not what I'm moving him here for. And I'm going to be focusing his ranged attacks with AoE options. Okay, and then I'm going to move him back around the corner.
Time to move.
Where he's out of the line of sight of the attackers here. Let me check Will and see what he has. Okay, let's see if I can... We'll move one of the Alchemist Fire to Will. And we'll have him toss this up here as well. And that puts him into combat and renews that fire surface. Okay, so I think that's good. Okay, so not entirely out of sight. Okay, so now here we start having more opportunities for AoE damage on multiple enemies. You can see Shatter here is going to hit every single one of them, and he doesn't hardly have to move up at all. Alright. So we got some good damage there. And now I'm just going to, again, move her kind of out of the way.
At the ready.
She's still in line of sight, but yeah, I think we're good with that. So
no holding back.
Will here can start his Hex. And again, barely moving anywhere for him. And then I can move him kind of back out of the way as well.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Shock of psychic pain, the pack leader's mind clamps onto yours. You see yourself through her eyes, a pulsing red cluster of organs. Feast. No, the voice has forbidden this meat. Gnolls see your whole world as a meal. This voice is acting as a leash, but it won't hold them for long.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Okay, so here we have some options that were not in early access. Okay. So to brave the flames and feast on the meat in the cave.
A memory. The beast daubs the symbol of the Absolute on a cave wall in blood. Buried deep, a tadpole struggles to assert control against the ravenous chaos of her mind.
Okay, so here's the option that we want to try and utilize here. We're going to try and get her to turn on her own gnolls. Oh! Oh! Thankfully, we have a lot of inspirations, and we need to use one anyway. I was about to say I can only fail this on a natural one.
Sensing your presence, the Gnoll's tadpole writhes in ecstasy, echoing your command. Its host will feast on Gnoll flesh to control the hunger, to keep her teeth from your throat. Something stirs deep within you, hungry and alert. It's taking something you'll never get back.
Okay, so now Flind is very temporarily fighting with us here. So again, Astarion is outside the detection cones, but it doesn't matter. If he's going to get out here, he's not going to be able to probably hide from all of these gnolls that are facing me. So again, at this point, it's just getting in AoE type of damages against the gnolls that are out here. And we'll move him back. I should have dashed. I forgot to dash. Okay, so that's one down. Okay, so here we have a Gnoll hunter that's getting a little bit too close. Okay, and now that we have Flind out here occupying them, now we're going to bring Lae'zel in here. I wish the detection cones weren't... Oh, that's Flind's detection cone. There's nothing I can do about it. Flind is facing towards us, so his detection cone is... Oh no, it might actually be this Gnoll hunter's detection cone here. Can I actually get down there? I can. I can move around down this way instead. And get up behind this hunter. Flind, like I say, is the problem. So, but now that Flind is out of the equation here, I can move Lae'zel in here. And for 8 hit points and 84% advantage, I don't need to use any of my superiority die. Okay. Now my bard is done. Where are we with... Can she see? No, Lae'zel's still out of range. We're going to hold off on that heal for now. Just in case things go south.
The blade will not bend.
Okay, for Will, again, we want to utilize the method that I was talking about previously. And that we want to try and utilize our Eldritch Blast to knock them back. But first, let's hex his strength. If it hits, doesn't matter if it knocks him back or not. But we want to have hex active. Okay, so it missed. It's not going to matter. He's not going to be able to clear that. Okay, so with Astarion, I definitely want to dash. Roll a 3. Okay. So again, I want to move him back out of the line of sight. Okay, so for my bard, I can move out here. And I want to try and cast Fairy Fire here. That's going to remove the cloud of daggers, but at this point I don't care. Because they're all engaged. in combat at this point, so only one of them failed to save. So I'll cast Combat Inspiration here, and it doesn't matter whether I move her back out of the way or not, but I will clear some space.
Battle favors the fearless.
Will's going to get moved up here, because at this point I want to start trying to inflict damage as much as I can. Okay, so he can't see that one. He can see the hyena. Good deal. Okay, so they rolled a 20. So for this to work, I'd need to roll a 4, 5, or 6, so it's a 50-50 chance on this. Perfect. That worked out well. And now for this, now I will start. And I don't necessarily need to, he's going to be dead on his next turn. Oh, okay, the crit worked perfect. So now I'm going to move over here behind Flind. And I'm going to get ready for my next turn with him.
Over here.
Okay, and I want to try and get Astarion into a place he has just barely not enough movement to get there, it looks like. Trying to get Astarion over to the side where I can get him out of the detection cones and start his sneak attack. Okay, so the Gnoll Fang is almost dead, so I don't really care much about dealing with him. So only a 40% chance. What is his wisdom? Okay, so he's got a +2 to wisdom checks. So let's try and get a...
Battle favors the fearless.
It's only a 45% chance, a 40% chance for Vicious Mockery. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two. 6 of one, half dozen the other. Okay. So we're trying to cause damage on Flind now. We're not going to let Flind get away or anything like that. Let's actually try one of these. Okay, so saved. Yeah, I'm not within distance here, so let's go ahead and move around behind Flind again.
Make way.
That was a 50-50 shot. Another 50-50 shot. Of course. Okay, now Flind, the problem, I didn't want him to die. Or didn't want him to survive. So the 2 hits that I missed were critical. I can do this.
Without delay.
How delicious. Time for discretion. It's a mild larceny. Quietly.
Come on, Astarion, let's move out here a little bit. Now we're gonna have to start this fight all over. Okay. He is surprised, though.
Just like old times.
Now we're gonna let him come to us.
This way.
Just like we were previously.
Battle favors the fearless.
Let's save Will until the end.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Actually, yeah, we're gonna hold our turns now. Because we want him to dash in here.
I feel death's cold grip.
I am fury. I am death.
Forever dauntless.
Nothing important is ever easy.
Okay. So now we want to try and start looking at pushing him back using will and that sort of stuff. So, but first we're going to move in with Lae'zel and I want to see. Okay, so he's carrying that, so it's a wisdom save and a strength save. His strength is higher than his wisdom. So we'll try a menacing attack here. Actually, let's not. Let's see if we can get some advantage from him first.
Victor's path.
So
Still on my feet.
it's a dex save. He's got a +2 to dex saves. So the chances of this landing are fairly small. And he did save.
These boots have seen everything.
Let me dance.
Now let's move in with Lae'zel first. She's got a 50-50 chance to make this work. I'm not going to be able to debuff him anymore. She just keeps missing. There's just no other way around it. She just keeps missing. Okay, so I was able to get sneak attack damage there. And now we're going to try and move him back. Only a 55% chance to hit. So he's still got more hit points there for that to work. So let's try and move him back. It's a strength save, so He did fail it, so now we'll move Will back here.
Making my move.
We want to get him back out of the way. And Lae'zel,
I am death.
we can cancel ending of her turn and move her back here as well. So hopefully he has to dash to reach any of us again.
Battle favors the fearless.
He didn't. Okay.
Take the leader down! We'll try to hold the rest back!
So now Astarion should be out of the enemy detection cones. Let's dash with him. Now he can use his jump action that doesn't lose a bonus action or anything. And now we will hide from here and sneak attack from behind.
Battle favors the fearless.
So for Will, try and move him around over here.
Fleet of foot.
This might be path interrupted, actually. Nope, but it's only a 45% chance to hit. Vicious Mockery's 40, so again, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Probably shouldn't have moved him there. But I think Flind is going to have to go all the way around to try and push him off the cliff. Okay, Lae'zel. Okay, you finally hit.
Survival is all that matters.
Okay, so we saved against Vicious Mockery. We expect only a 40% chance to land it. Nice crit by Rugen. We're going to hide right here. Sneak attack, and hopefully this will end it. Alright.
Don't waste a step.
We ran a little bit long there because it kind of flubbed the killing Flind while he was still in combat thing, so we had to go through and redo it a little bit differently and fight him again. So, but I think that's going to bring us to the end of this live stream. We will talk to Rugen and kind of start that missing, or continue that missing shipment quest next week. And as a reminder, check the schedule this week in the community post and also in the About tab for when this live stream is going to be happening next week, because it's going to be a couple hours earlier. Instead of starting at noon until 3, it's going to be from 10 until 1. And then we will start the Paladin live stream from 2 to 5 on Saturday next week. So, again, everyone, great to see you here. Thanks for all the comments. I certainly appreciate it. All your guys' input during the stream is great to see. And if I missed some comments, I apologize. I try and pay a little attention at certain spots, but I'll try and go back through them. If there's anything else that I missed, I will certainly get back to you guys as quick as I can. So, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Without your support, again, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.